Hi guys, how are you doing? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to A Man and the Lens. I'm so happy to see you. It's been a minute, to be honest. It's been a long time, and not my fault. I have so many things to do. It's just that sometimes you want to shoot, but things are just happening, and it doesn't give you enough time to shoot. But notwithstanding that, I'm sorry about that. Sorry about my absence, but I'm back somehow. I always say that I'm back until I'm not there. I'm not here anymore. So guys, I wanted to talk about something that's happening right now. I think everybody's changing cameras. There's always new camera coming out here and there, and I think it's time for me to upgrade as well. I think it's time for me to upgrade. I've been considering getting a new camera for such a long time, and I think I'm gonna pull the trigger this year. I'm just going to upgrade. I'm not gonna look back at that. I'm gonna make that big investment. I'm going to get myself, drum roll, a Fuji X-H2. So why the Fuji X-H2? Because you watching this on YouTube, so you're probably wondering why the Fuji X-H2 and not the X-H2S. And I think if you are a follower of the channel, you know that I've been loaned a few Fuji units, and I have a little bit of a bias towards Fuji, as much as I'm not shooting on the brand right now. But I've really been considering this. I've really been looking at this in a very objective way. So the Fuji X-H, let me just explain. The Fuji X-H series that came out is Fuji's, we can say, video-centric cameras, because Fuji is mostly known for their photography and all the simulations and stars and stuff like that. But now there is a Fuji X-H2 series that came out after the X-H1. I've had the pleasure to I've tried one, thank Fuji South Africa, that loaned me one of those cameras to try for a few moments. I even went with it to Congo, came back with it, and a very nice camera, but it really showed its age and it was outdated, to say the least. But still a very good camera, but a bit outdated for the time that we had. Right now I'm using a Canon 800D. That's pretty much my main workhorse on everything that I do. It's a crop sensor, I know. Tried quite a lot of Canon camera, but I'm kind of just fed up with Canon, to be honest. I'm a little bit tired of Canon because they do not give people what they want. They do not give clients what they want. It's true that Fuji doesn't give clients what they want, because maybe because people are longing for full frame cameras, and we could make a case for that. But I feel like a crop sensor is just as good as a full frame regarding some aspect. In some aspect, I'm not gonna go into that debate, because let's leave it to those who do camera comparisons and stuff like that. Full frame is full frame. Super 35 crop sensor is Super 35 crop sensor, and will not change. But okay, to go back to Canon, is that the brand doesn't listen to its customer, to say the least. Only now that they're trying to change a few things, as I've seen with the Canon R7, obviously, because the competition is heating up as well. You have brands like Sony that's just pumping cameras with spec that are off the chart, and people are literally flocking to them. Canon blocked the RF mount for other third-party manufacturer to make RF mount lenses. They can't make RF mount lenses anymore. Whereas you have Sony that has a very great relationship with third-party manufacturer of lenses like Tamron, who has an amazing lens. I've been considering Sony for a long time as well, because there is this Tamron 35 to 150 f2 to f2.8. That's just the perfect lens for someone like me, because I can do YouTube with that, I can do wedding with that, I can do portrait with that. Generally, I shoot between 24 with my crop sensor, between 24 and 105. So it literally covers all the range that I have, if I look at it in a sense, because that's a one lens to rule them all. Tyler Jackson made a very good review about it. He shot wedding, and he used that lens for everything, and it was amazing. And with the new Sony A7R5 that came out, that's just a killer combo. 10-bit colors. You can also make a case for the Sony A7 IV, which is also really good with 33 megapixel. But I kind of a pixel people, so I'll probably go for that. But that's something. But right now, I want to go to Fuji because even Tamron for Fuji is doing an amazing stuff. I was checking today the lens, the 17 to 70, which is an absolute phenomenal lenses as well, very lightweight. There is also the Sigma that came out with another lens, and yeah, Fuji's just missing on that telephoto length there, especially for third-party manufacturer, because they don't have a lot of it. That was the attraction of Canon before, because Canon had Sigma. I have a Sigma. I had Yangnuo. Now I mostly have Canon lenses. I have a Sigma 105. I have a Canon 100 mm, and I have a Nifty 50. So very, very, very disappointed with Canon in the fact that they are kind of blocking their own success. I understand that the RF lenses probably took them years to manufacture, to develop for R&D, cost them a lot of money, and they don't want the competition in that regard. But people love Canon for something that I think they used to represent innovation before, but now they don't do that much anymore. And innovation is also accepting competition so that you can probably do better, improve upon what you've already done. Unfortunately, they're not doing that, and it's very frustrating, especially on the client side, because we as clients, we want that to be able to push our brand, to push our businesses, so forth and so on. Trying to position my lights in a little better way, so a bit more flattering on the side. So that's a bit of my gripe, and that why I want to change, because Fuji is really listening to its clientele, and the XH2 is an amazing camera, but I don't think like I really need all those video specs. I'm probably never gonna shoot with them, even if I get the lens, even if I get the camera. So the XH2 is probably the best for me because I don't do anything that is fast paced. There is no, I don't shoot sport. I don't shoot this, and I don't shoot anything that requires me to because the sensor readout is very slow. We all know it. 8K, I don't need 8K. I need 4K, and I'm fine with 4K. Future proofing, I don't even think that we will ever shoot at 8K in most cases. Only a few people shoot in 8K, and the data cost of managing 8K footage is just off the chart. And I'm not even going to go into that rabbit hole because I don't see myself doing that. Yeah, so I really want to maybe just tell Canon, just take it easy a little bit and work. It's a big company. I mean, I'm not even sure they're gonna listen to me or they're gonna hear what I have to say, but it will be really good to listen to your clients. Open that RF mounts, and your sales will just quadruple, because Sony has been leading the way. To be honest, Sony has been leading the way, and Canon is kind of falling behind. Sony has been giving up firmware update after firmware update, releasing new cameras and fighting that. They released the FS30 recently to fight the Canon R7, which was probably one of the best crop sensor Canon has released in a very, very long time. But I don't know why they released the R10. Beside that, it's really useless as a camera. And I'm sure Sony is gonna release something like the A60 in the A6 series. They're gonna release something in that range to fight Fuji, because Fuji is coming with a lot of hits, especially with the XH2 series and the XT5. They've really improved a lot, and they've really released something that's talking to a customer base a lot. And we Fuji fan base. As much as I have all my Canon gear, I'm still gonna have a Fuji. If it's not the Fuji XH2 that I'm planning to get, I might get the Sony, but I'm still gonna buy myself a small Fuji on the side, just because Fuji is something that speaks to me. Personally, Fuji is something that really talks to me a lot, and I love not only the brand, but I love the image quality, the photography, and Fuji doesn't compromise. That's one thing. It's true that you can have 10 bits here and there, and they don't put 10 bits on the other small cameras, but they still give you like fast readout speed, fast bit rate, and you don't see so much difference. You can still, for example, record RAW externally on Atomos, or you can still record RAW 10 bits externally, and they just put a full HDMI. I don't know why Canon can't do that. This shouldn't cost Canon a lot of money. This thing to put on the camera shouldn't cost them a lot of money. I mean, just to, this is, please put this full HDMI. This full HDMI. You need to put it in your cameras, Canon. Why not? You're putting it on the C70, but not everybody want to be a cinematographer who goes on the field. That camera is mostly targeted to those people. Put it on the small body because everybody now is using an external monitor. Like even the Canon 800D has a mini HDMI. On the R5, there is a micro, if I'm not mistaken. Correct me if I'm wrong. There's a micro HDMI. Doesn't make any sense. Micro HDMI. Why? Why? On all the Sonys that are being released now, you're not going to tell me there's no space to put a micro HDMI. The Canon R5C is a cinema camera without a full-size HDMI. It doesn't make any sense. It's bonkers. Like, it really blows your mind away. Like, what the hell? I've been using an external monitor, and I don't think that is something that I'm going to take into consideration for whichever camera I'm buying. I don't think I'll ever be able, because this camera, when I was testing my this camera here, my G5X. It's a Canon again, by the way. Kind of stuck here with Canon in South Africa. So this G5X has a micro HDMI, but it's unusable, literally unusable. This thing is unreliable, and I can't, for God's sake, keep it attached to my, it's just unusable, unreliable, unusable. And I don't know why Canon sticks to that. For comparison, the R5 is probably twice and a half the size of this camera, and it uses the same HDMI port. Just for comparison, should be ashamed, shamed. So that's my gripe a little bit with Canon. I wasn't supposed to rant. I don't rant about camera stuff, but now that I really want to upgrade, if Canon just gave me what Fuji, even half of what Fuji gives, I would stick to the brand. But I think for the time being, I'll shoot with it until I really pull the plugs. I'm gonna pull the plug anytime soon. Working on that, just trying to, because it requires also investing on lenses and stuff. That's the only issue with changing camera system, because I've invested quite a lot on Canon. But considering that I only primarily shoot with 3 lenses, it's not much of a problem. So moving to Fuji now. That's it. There is no turning back, unless I add maybe another camera and I still keep my Canon. I'll think about it, but it won't make financial sense. Peace out. Bye.